On a bustling spring morning at the market, a merchant led an elephant around a street corner, drawing a crowd of onlookers. 5 blind men passing by in a group heard about the elephant and crowded forward in curiosity, eager to touch the giant creature they had never encountered before. The first blind man grasped the smooth ivory tusk and exclaimed loudly at once, "I know what an elephant is like. It's like a sharp spear, hard, smooth, and feels extremely sharp." The onlookers couldn't help snickering at his words. The second blind man felt the broad elephant ear and quickly retorted, "No, no. The elephant is clearly like a big fan. Its edges are thin, and it must be able to cool us down when waved." The first man shook his head and argued back, and the two immediately began to quarrel. The third blind man tightly hugged the thick elephant leg and chimed in loudly, "You're both wrong. The elephant is obviously like a thick pillar, sturdy and stable, capable of holding up the sky." The other blind men nodded in agreement, and the dispute grew more intense. The fourth blind man felt the thick elephant body and said slowly, "None of you are right. The elephant is like a thick wall, wide, hard, and very stable to lean against." The 5 men each clung to their own opinions, arguing until their faces turned red, none willing to yield to the others. The fifth blind man pinched the thin elephant tail and added softly, "I think the elephant is like a thin rope. It moves with a gentle tug, nothing like what you're describing." The 5 men reached a stalemate, and the onlookers laughed even harder. An elderly man with white hair, leaning on a walking stick, passed by. Seeing the crowd arguing endlessly, he stopped with a smile. The merchant quickly offered him tea and asked him to settle the argument. The 5 blind men also quieted down, waiting eagerly for his judgment. Pointing at the elephant, the old man explained patiently, "Each of you only touched one part of the elephant. Judging the whole creature based on just a fragment, it's only natural that your views differ and disputes are inevitable." The 5 blind men nodded repeatedly as they listened. Gesturing as he spoke, the old man elaborated, "The tusk is sharp, the ear is broad, the leg is thick, the body is bulky, and the tail is thin. When all these parts come together, they form a complete elephant. Focusing only on fragments will never let you see the whole picture." The first blind man scratched his head, looking ashamed, and said embarrassedly, "So we were all wrong. We shouldn't have jumped to conclusions based on just a little touch. We were being too one-sided." The other blind men also hung their heads, their faces full of shame. The 5 blind men apologized to each other, lamenting their rashness and stubbornness. The onlookers clapped in approval, praising the old man's thorough explanation, and the bustling market returned to its usual lively hubbub. In the village school, the teacher pointed to the 4 characters, the blind men and the elephant, written on the blackboard, explaining the story's moral to the students. The children repeated the words earnestly, firmly keeping in mind the lesson that one must see things comprehensively. Under the big tree at the village entrance, the white-haired old man told the story of the blind men and the elephant to the gathered children. When observing things, we must look and listen widely, understanding them fully. We must never be like the blind men, jumping to conclusions based on just a part. The children listened with rapt attention. Key takeaway. The blind men and the elephant metaphorically refers to judging things based on partial understanding and drawing wrong conclusions. It reminds us, when evaluating matters, we must observe comprehensively and analyze rationally. Never jump to hasty conclusions based on limited information, or we will make foolish mistakes.